Hey, it's Danielle with the Youll. You've seen us tackle a lot of projects over the years, from drain tiles, polyjacking, piers, I-beams, you name it, we've done it. Today, we're tackling our most ambitious project yet. Have you ever run into a problem where you want another floor, but you just can't go up? There's no room. We're gonna add another floor to this house underground. Here we go. I know the spiders might feel different, but I don't exactly want to hang out here. We're going to turn this cramped crawl space into this. Are you thinking of DIYing your crawl space to basement conversion? Well, there's just a couple things you're going to need. You're going to need some tools, probably a few shovels. You'll need a skid steer. You're probably going to need an excavator too. Pallets and pallets of elbow grease. And don't forget a team of guys who know what they're doing and can get the job done. Oh, and a load of time. First things first, we need access. You've seen us do countless jobs where we get all that dirt and debris out bucket by bucket. We are not going to do that today. We want to get this job done this decade. We are going to be building a ramp so we have access to get all that out quickly and efficiently. We have dug the ramp so that we can get our machines down there to get the dirt out. I know it looks pretty dark and creepy, like there could be a man-eating spider in there, but actually it's our entrance to be able to get all that scary stuff out, so it's a friendly environment inside. Now, first things first, we have to dig down to depth and make the opening big enough so that we can bring our machines in and dig more efficiently. Next, we need to lower the I-beam support down to depth and have that reinforced. And once that's done, then we can just keep digging everything. Look how far we've come. We've got our excavator, which makes it much faster. We can put the dirt on the conveyor belt. That goes to another conveyor belt that goes outside up the ramp and gets it out of here. The first thing we had to deal with, obviously, was all the water. We've installed a sump pump, and as we go, we keep installing more drain tile to help with that water problem. This is the bottom of where the crawl space used to be. We are going for a 9-foot clearance. So we're not just digging a basement, we're digging a basement. How do we support the house as we're digging below it? I mean, isn't it just gonna fall through? The answer is standing right beside me. As we keep going farther back, we're gonna lower these I-beam supports as we go. And as we go, we're gonna pour concrete rebar reinforced footings. We install temporary I-beam supports so they support the house while we're working. Just like we learned in school when they would dig for fossils, as they went down, the layers would tell them a story. These layers are telling us, the owners, really wanted a basement. As you can see, we're still about 2 feet away from the wall. This is in order for the house to sit on solid soil while we work so we don't have to crib the foundation. Did I mention there's a lot of dirt? We're gonna be removing over 400 tons of dirt from this project alone. And all that dirt is coming out of that hole. This is our best friend on site. And this is our second best friend on site. Most of the crawl space is dug out. The next step is to dig 4 to 5 foot sections and pour the foundation. We're gonna dig under the footers so that the new foundation supports the old foundation. Now that we have the sections dug, it's time to pour the concrete. The forms might look a little put together. That's because we put them together. The final forms will be metal and interlocking to create a nice finish. We drill holes in the top of the footer. We bring in a cement pump truck and put a hose through those holes. You fill up that form, much like you fill up your water bottle. Our first sections are done. This is going to give the house support while we dig the rest of the sections. This eliminates the need to crib the house, which saves you money. As you can see, there has been a lot of progress. First things first, we have a footer in. The footer is what the underpinning and the wall sits on, and it spreads out the weight of the house so that it doesn't sink. You know, kind of like your foot on your leg. So next we're going to talk about the rebar, all this metal. First we have the rebar that's connecting the underpinnings, but we also have this vertical rebar that's coming from the new footer that will be connected to the old footer. We're going to drill holes and there'll be rebar coming out and connecting to the vertical ones. That way, when we pour the new cement wall, it's all one piece and solid. We're going to install the drain tile into this trench. Then we're going to pour the wall. As you can see, we got our forms in. The forms are in sections, and those are held together by our pins here. That's reinforced by our 2x4s, and then we've got our vertical 4x4s that are anchored into the footer, and then this is anchored into the ground. All of that is because there's going to be a lot of pressure. Our first pour is going to be 18 cubic yards of concrete. That's only half the basement.
It's concrete day. Today we're pouring the foundation. We've got the whole shebang. The concrete is going to come down into the hopper, down through the hose, and go into the basement. Look at that concrete. It's pretty beautiful.
Last time we were here, we were pouring foundation. And as you can see, we've set up for our next pour. But we took the forms down, and now our brand new foundation wall. The next step is to get those plumbers in here to do their rough plumbing so we can pour that floor. Last time I was here, we had the walls poured and we were just waiting for the plumbers to come do the rough plumbing. Well, they're all done, so let me take you around and show you what we're gonna do today. We've got our wall covering in place for waterproofing. We have our dimple board, and as you can see, we have our vapor barrier installed. This is gonna prevent any moisture from coming through. We also have our wire mesh here. This is gonna help hold the concrete together and create a strong base. Here we have our rough plumbing. They're actually gonna do a powder room down here, so these covered pipes are gonna be our sink and our toilet. Once we're done with the floors, they're gonna come back, cut them down, and install them. Got our ejector pit. Anything coming from your sink, your shower, your toilet that you wouldn't want to go back into your yard. Instead, it's going to eject straight into the city sewer system. Here we have our water main. This is where the water from the city comes into the house. This was actually buried under concrete and underground. As we dug it out, we had to move it so that we could pour the walls. The plumbers came in and just did a rough job so that the house has access to water while we work. Once we pour the floors, they're gonna come back, pretty it up, make it look great. Lucky for us, the sewer line was already coming in through the crawl space, so we didn't have to move it. So the house didn't miss one flush. You know what this is? This is our escape window. Easy access, easy egress, which is why they call it an egress window. We've got a ladder for easy escape. We're even going to have a cover installed that can hold up to 1,000 pounds. There's even going to be a lock that locks from the inside. That way, no one can get in, but you can get out. It's time to pour some concrete. We're going to pump it in. Just like before, we're going to take those hoses and pour it in here. As you can see, everyone is hard at work. It goes pretty fast once we start pouring that concrete. I'm living my childhood dreams. I love playing in the mud, but playing in cement is even better. We are here. It is the last day of the job. As you can see, our window well is in. We've rough graded as well. We've got another window well over here. So, if you remember, this was a whole trench. It is no more. It is filled back in. Now the owners have one last thing to do. We've given them a beautiful blank canvas, and now they get to design their front yard exactly how they want it. As you can see, the floor is now cured. We are done on our end. So now they just need to install the HVAC and finish the basement. They're working on that right now, so we're gonna let them work and we'll come back when everything is done. This is Danielle with the Real Seal. We are all done except one last thing. Heidi, which is Austin's dog, had to come inspect the yard for herself and give it her paw of approval. What do you say? I think she likes it.
Yeah, she does. Hi, Heidi.